Hi everyone, I'm Allison. Thank you for joining me for Where I'm From 255 with Susan. What have you been reading? I read The Dry Season, A Memoir of Pleasure in a Year Without Sex by Melissa Febos, who read it for our book club, and we're all writers in the club. So it was a good. We had lots of good discussion about it. Hi, Susan.
Hi. I've invited you, so you may have an invitation. Hey, wow, that was really fast.
Hi,
Hi, happy birthday.
thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, and it looks good. You have beautiful bookshelves behind you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday and happy being in this book together. I'm very proud of it, and it's an honor to be in it with you. Um,
Great. It's wonderful. I love
it
it.
is. It is. I would have loved to have this book 30 years ago. Would have made my life feel a lot less lonely.
Same.
Um,
Same.
yeah. And also, I loved your memoir. Um, I would meet you anywhere. And if you have read Susan's memoir, you would love her essay in this book because it's sort of like a sequel or a addendum or an epilogue or whatever word you would like to use. Which was very so I read the book in its entirety, I don't know, at some point when we got the PDF. And then I read your memoir, and then I just read your essay again night before last, I think. And so
Mm,
it hit me very differently reading it this time,
mm.
having read your memoir. It's very satisfying.
Thank you. The story never ends, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the challenges of writing memoir is this temptation or this desire to have an end, right? Because it's a work of art, and we'd like it to have a beginning, middle, and end, and the end is kind of arbitrary. Um,
Well,
so yeah,
agreed. It's kind of messy, but
yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you for reading. But I think the great thing is that there's always an opportunity to write more.
yeah, yeah. And then your essay is a perfect example because you did a masterful job of sort of for people who don't know your full story, letting them know, and then so it worked for me both times. And it's just because as I was reading your memoir, of course, I was like, oh, this must have been like um she's not gonna like this because she your do you call her what do you call her, your birth mother? Do you do that
Yeah.
or okay?
Well, that's what I call her to
Yeah,
myself and to
yeah,
others. I don't call her that directly, although
no,
we both know. So
right, right. um it's just it's so anyway, secrets and shame and all of it, it's I think once you shine sun or light on something, it's so much lighter. And so I it's hard when people don't feel that way.
did you feel that as well, writing your piece?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it a lot because it's very I didn't I didn't share it with everybody at the time, but I did talk about it. So for those of you who don't know, I'm estranged from two of my brothers, and I was estranged from my father for quite a while, which of course you can't get into all of that in an essay. So I focused on my oldest brother. Um, and it was just yeah, it felt good. My mom read it, the essay, and she said she felt good reading it because she felt like I had some peace with it,
Hmm.
you know, that I
Hmm.
had some um and it was interesting to hear that. And I certainly do compared to how I felt 30 years ago.
Hmm.
And I think the power of the book and the power of stories in general is to help people know that when you're in crisis, this won't last forever. There is the future. And if you continue to, I think, shine light on things and talk about things and process, and it will get better.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's, well, like you said, it's a process. It's a process.
Right.
It goes in and out.
Right. And it's not just time because I also lost a brother, and edited a book about co-edited a book about sibling loss, um and it's not, time just doesn't heal things. You have
Right.
to engage with the wounds to heal them. Um,
So true. So true.
because you can't just put it away and then take it out again and be like, oh, it's fixed. It's
Mhm.
no.
Mhm.
Um, so thank you so much for joining me. I
Thank you for the
loved your poem.
opportunity. Thank
Um,
you.
and I'm really excited to hear you read it. So if you'd like to,
Should I go ahead?
yes, please.
Okay, I just want to say that I was not exactly sure, but getting this prompt from Allison was really helpful and really evocative. And
Mhm.
yeah, so it took me a while to really understand what it was, and I feel really grateful and honored to have had this opportunity. So thank you
Oh,
so much. Okay, so all of these are in a series, I think, I am from, and we were given specific prompts. So it was like I am from uh, Mad Libs, but
yeah.
then I
Yes.
am from Mad Libs poem. Okay,
Yes.
I am from. I am from Secrets and Grass, from Mallomars and Kikkoman soy sauce. I am from the mint green house with the driveway shaped like a smile. I am from chrysanthemums, giant petals like bubbles. I'm from jan-ken-poh and singing army songs in the car, from the Itos and the unnamed branches. I'm from the never late and the late discovered cranes, from we don't make any money, but look at the fun we have, and the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. I'm from the Japanese church in Manhattan, day-long services in both languages. I'm from Westchester County and secret lineage. Onigiri wrapped in foil, teriyaki hot dogs in front of the TV. From my grandmother, who reportedly tried to jump off the George Washington Bridge, but couldn't because her leg was too short to get over the railing. The leather photo albums from my father's war years in Italy that I didn't discover until after he died. The other albums from before I was born. He said nothing before then mattered.
Oh, that got me. That last line is like, oh, so full of love. And your poem and your memoir were so full of love for your parents. It was just like, um, anyway, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. So what you sort of touched on at the beginning, what it was like for you to write this poem. Isn't it a great prompt? Way to go, Fred, first, the man who created it. He just did it because he was felt inspired. I mean, he just made this thing, and it's incredible. He's facilitated, I would imagine, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of poems because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one that I have used with
Hmm.
students,
Yeah.
but not with those specific Mad Libby kind of things.
Hmm. Hmm.
But those made it really helpful because then otherwise it's just
Hmm.
infinite the things you could
Yeah.
say, right? So I think
Yes.
having those restrictions really helped.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful way to. I know a lot of people use it with students or in like professional development as a way to break the ice, beyond what's one thing that people don't know about you or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really good. It's really good. And I love the specific things like the quotes and the
mm.
products and yeah, it was just great. It was really fun to do. So
And
thank
for me, you're well, I mean, you're welcome. And the experience, whenever I listen to one, there's something that obviously the whole thing resonates, but also my personal, like, Onigiri is a big part of my life now. Because my kids, we went to a school with lots of Japanese families. And
you.
so there's lots of onigiri at like every fundraiser or every
Mhm, mhm.
school, so it just made me think of like when they look back, they'll think
They'll
of
think of
that.
that.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and how much love is in those rice balls. it's just I don't know, it makes me anyway, the
No.
moms just sit there making them. Like I'm like, how many can you make?
Yeah.
A lot, a
Yeah.
lot.
I remember when I went away to sleepaway camp and all the other kids were getting these care packages with like
Mhm.
homemade chocolate chip cookies and things. And
Yeah.
I got a box of onigiri
Hmm.
in my care package and I was so ecstatic. And other kids were like, what's that? You know, this was in the 70s. And so they
Yeah.
weren't like a cultural thing like they are
No.
now. And
Right.
it was just funny that they were like my treasure and they meant so much to me. My grandmother had made them. Um, and yeah, but I definitely stood out from the other kids with the care packages.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, now it would be like, oh, we want some. I
Yeah,
mean,
can I
that's
have some
like,
of yours? Exactly.
like that's like there things. Some things are better, and that is one thing that I feel like has improved this sort of like general, like many people, this curiosity and then like joy in other in cultures that are not the ones we were born into.
Right,
Um,
right.
and so, and to me, it's like it's one of the great joys of living in a urban environment like that. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, and also they taiko drummed. So when you were talking about taiko drumming, I was I
Oh.
it's such a anyway, it's the coolest. So if any of you don't know what taiko drumming is, just look at a YouTube video. It is the most like it does feel like a heartbeat, like you talk about in your writing, how it felt like a not a substitute, but something that spoke to that part of you. And it
Mhm.
really does do that.
Yeah, it's
So
exhilarating.
yeah,
It's great. Mm.
yeah, I wanted to try, but it wasn't for me. But I was like, oh, this is very like powerful.
Hmm.
Um, so any other thoughts about the poem or anything else? I'm
Let me see.
just thrilled. You're here.
No, it was great. It was just fun. It was fun. And but it was also evocative and also, brought up a lot of feelings, so
Yeah.
it's so layered and it's such an opportunity to
Oh, frozen. Is it frozen for other people?
right?
Oh,
Sorry, hi. I'm
it just
back.
froze for a second. Okay.
No, my phone rang and
I know.
my phone rang and
I hate
so
that.
that showed up.
Um, yeah, so did you find did you have a conversation with yourself or about what you wanted to say or include, or did it sort of just flow? Because you do have the sort of layered ideas
No,
of where you're from or realities of where you're from.
yeah, well, I wrote it out kind of Mad Lib style in my notebook first, and some things just came right away, and other ones they were like blank underlines,
Hmm.
and I had to like think about them a lot more. Some of them really came much more easily than others. Like Mallomars are like so classic
Hmm.
from my childhood.
Hmm.
They're like a classic thing that a favorite snack. And my grandmother couldn't speak very much English, so she used to go like this, and that was like her sign for Mallomars. Anyway, I have a whole long poem that I wrote about Mallomars and another one that I wrote about Onigiri. I have a lot of food poems. Um, but I couldn't think of a second one. I was like,
Hmm.
Mallomars and it took me a while. And then and then I thought of the soy sauce was just like ubiquitous sitting on the kitchen table,
Hmm.
was like always ever present, always there. So,
And it was always Kikkoman back then. Like
yeah,
there
there
weren't,
was nothing else. Yeah,
yeah.
there was nothing else. Yeah.
There was no like abundant. You didn't go to the aisle and there's like all the different choices. It's like
Yeah.
that was it at
Yeah.
every restaurant, everywhere.
Yes, yes. Oh, here. When I here, I'll come look, I have a little visual aid. This so I lead these uh this program in Japan. It's food writing and food called
Mm.
food cultural food writing.
Hmm.
And we got to go to the Kikkoman soy sauce
Oh,
factory.
yay.
And there's this This is the mascot of Kikkoman. Her name is Kikkona, and
Yeah.
like her little hat is the lid of the the
Mhm.
soy sauce, and here her body is it. It was like so cute. So
Yes.
Kikkona, she's my friend.
We went to the occult factory, and so
Oh wow, wow.
it was, I would imagine there's some similarities, and that is like a thing where there's a mascot,
There's a
which is such
mascot
an
for everything. There's a mascot for everything.
and it's like it's just so adorable, and it's just, yeah. So anyway, that's, I can see but I love that you have, is it like an ornament or a
It's
keychain
like
or,
a thing that you hang from your phone or your keychain or
oh,
something.
okay,
I
like a
don't know. I
charm.
just
Yeah,
I have it
just like,
hanging up in my office, but
yeah.
yeah, so funny.
Yeah, I your grandmother, that was an interesting story for many reasons.
Mm.
Like, was it told that way to you or to others? Was it something that was
It was
revealed?
something my mother talked about all the time.
Okay.
And it was not something that I ever heard directly from my grandmother,
Hmm.
but my mother talked about it. And then when my mother was, quite elderly and she got frustrated, she would say, "Get me a plane ticket. I'm going to the George Washington Bridge."
Oh, wow.
We were like,
Mhm.
okay, it
Yeah.
for her, it was like it was a symbol of sadness and
Hmm.
frustration or whatever. And yeah, yeah, take me to the George Washington Bridge. And it was her way because she didn't really speak directly so much about her feelings. It
Right.
was her way of saying that she'd had it.
It was
She
too much.
it was too much. This is too
Mhm.
much. Take me to the bridge.
Yeah.
Which was hard, but it also kind of in our family lore became a little bit of an inside joke, just like,
Yeah.
take me to the bridge. I've
Yeah.
had it. So I
Well, and
don't
that's
know.
what I wondered too. Is it her like being too short? Is that a true story, or is it sort of a metaphor? Like, was it told like she really did try, but she couldn't get over, or was it more of a?
My mother told it as if it was a true story,
Mhm.
but like I don't know when this allegedly happened.
Right,
I
right.
think it was probably before I was born.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really know, but it was something that yeah, my mother would bring it up as, um, yeah, just a symbol of frustration or something.
Hmm.
But as like I don't think I heard about it while my grandmother was still alive, because
Oh,
I would have
interesting.
asked her, I
Hmm.
would have asked her
Hmm.
like, Nana, is that true? And
Hmm.
what was going on and why were you so upset? I think I would have asked her because it would have upset me a lot. So I think I
Yeah,
heard about it later in life after she passed.
because it almost feels like a parable that
Yeah.
somebody would tell, about. So I wondered if it
It
was
could
that.
be, and it could be something that even my grandmother would have said, even if it wasn't true, that my
Hmm.
mother then picked up and then she
Hmm.
passed on to me, something like that. So,
Because
yeah.
it has that piece of like, I couldn't even do this, like, which
Mm,
I think many people, we feel that way, right? We have those moments in life where it's like, I mean, I have not had this ideation, but just this feeling of there's no relief.
mhm, mhm,
Wherever you look, you can't
mhm,
find relief.
mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah, and because we did have a language barrier. I mean, we were
yeah.
able to communicate with each other, and I understood her, and she understood me on a very basic level.
Mhm.
But I couldn't really have in-depth conversations with her, and yeah, so I didn't really know a lot about her inner life. And so when I heard this being repeated, this story,
Mhm.
it really, really struck me. Speaking of which, I had to take a lot out of my memoir. Um,
Mhm.
I had to cut it down quite a bit, almost by half,
Oh,
because
wow.
my press had a certain word limit
Right.
for books, and
Hmm.
so I had a lot of outtakes. And there's one that's in Agni magazine
Hmm.
called Homecoming that I'm actually going to be reading from next week at the
Mm.
Writers Grotto. And but a lot of it is about my grandmother and going back to Japan with her when I'm
Oh
10
wow.
years old. And a lot of it is about her sadness and sort of going home but not being able to go home.
Hmm.
So I was thinking about that maybe a little bit as I was writing this and wondering if those things were linked somehow.
Hmm.
No,
I think obviously the language barrier is another barrier, but I think those conversations are difficult to have with
in any
older,
language,
yeah.
yeah. Mm,
And I mean my maternal grandmother died long, long before I was born, but I have written about her in my poem and in my writing because even though I never knew her and my mother barely knew her, um I feel that lineage and that, and honestly that sadness that um gets passed down, and how little space there was for them to exist, and their stories and their words, and yeah, it feels like I sometimes am buoyed by, like, I am doing this thing that she never in a million years could have
mm, mhm,
imagined, like just expressing myself and digging for this authentic version of myself. Like,
mhm.
there was not the space and privilege for her to do that.
Right. Not only that, but then sharing it publicly.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, on
Yes.
top of it, it's just doing the private work of that
Yeah.
excavation, but then also sharing it out in the world is another.
Mhm.
It's a whole other level.
It feels like a sort of honoring
Mm,
of what has come before, and
mhm,
so it's
mhm.
interesting you sharing that about her. And I don't know, it lifts something. I think it lifts all of us to share these stories, and um to let them take up space, even if it's after they're gone. Um, because I know that we're in a time right now where they're trying to make us as small as, the powers that want to make women and people of color, really everyone except a very select few, wants to make them as small as possible. And I feel like as we taking space and speaking is an act of hope and revolution and joy, um,
Mhm.
and it's
Resistance.
important, and I have to remind myself because sometimes you can feel like it's all too much.
True.
Um,
True. Yeah. Well, I love that you're doing this, Allison. I think it's a great idea. I think it's very inspiring. And I was wondering what made you start to do this as a practice.
yeah, it's funny because it was during the pandemic, which I think a lot of us started things during that time, and I had done this prompt in a health stewardship, like narrative medicine workshop with Junie Nulette, and
Mm-hmm.
I we went into breakout rooms, and I didn't really get to my poem. I just spoke to a woman who I knew because of like a Facebook group. It was like, oh, hey, you're a person and I'm a person. And we just were talking, and we came back and people shared their poems. And I was so struck by what people were able to create in 10 minutes. Um, and something I've always been sort of concerned isn't quite but thoughtful about is how each of us is living our life. Like, each of us has an extraordinary story, I believe. And I've been told like that's goofy or whatever, but I think it. And
But
um
I see no argument in that. I mean, I don't. How could you argue about that? That's
I
good.
don't know. I think people, I don't, this whole exceptionalism sort of idea, or gatekeeping, it's all just, I don't like it. And I think it's destructive. Like, this idea that some people are better than other people, or it's just like, ick. So I was actually meditating and was like, what about if I just asked people if they wanted to join me to do this? It was just like it was like really like a God shot if you're 12 step, or, those And I was like, well, I just ask people and I'll just see what happens because I want to know. I genuinely want to know. Um, and this gives me an excuse because it's very difficult actually in real life to go up to people and say, hey, can we dispense of all of this sort of pleasantries and you tell me something real about you? Because if, it's hard. So yeah, then I just reached out to tons of people and just said, hey, do you want to do this? And really the response was, and I think it partially was the pandemic sort of wanting to be seen and not be just sitting at home. And so, yeah, I just was like, oh, well, I guess I'll do one a week. And I pretty much have now almost 5 years.
Wow.
And yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And
Amazing.
and I've met so many amazing people and heard so many stories. And I think that it's changed me because it's helped me understand the importance of my own story. Because every person who joins me, I'm like, thank you for sharing. Um, and Georgella and I have become friends, and she's a wonderful person, and that has been an added. Um, it's a joy, and so many people. I mean, I'm very happy to. I'm honored to be in this book with you, but to me, this is very meaningful to just connect and share in this way. It's like now I feel like I know you in a way that
Mhm.
I don't from
Mhm.
just reading your writing. So,
Same,
um,
same. Yeah,
yeah.
it's great.
So it's just, I think it's one of those small decisions you make can add up to bigger things, and you don't really ever know what it's going to be. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been really good for me actually in that sort of striving because I'm definitely a recovering perfectionist. This idea of just doing something instead of waiting for it to be perfect,
Yeah. I mean, this
um,
was the first draft. This was, yeah, I mean, except for
which is
the blank
amazing.
line.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I feel
Right.
like, wow, look at that. I did
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And I'm very encouraging of that. Like I all are welcome. That is welcome. If you want to work on it a bunch, you can. But it sort of links back to that idea of uh it's all worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and then I think, obviously it ends up tying into my politics of like we're all worth the space that we take in the world, and we all matter and are exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it has been a beautiful way to live that belief.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so grateful. I have to say, it took me a while to like get it. Like, what is even
Mm.
going on here? What is happening?
Yeah.
Even this morning, I was like, how do I log on? I've never been on Instagram Live before.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, is there a Zoom link? What do I do?
Yeah.
So,
It's definitely a lot of that. And I was actually talking to this friend about this just the other day. Like, this is 255. So I sort of just show up. It's going to be what it is. I'm excited for I mean, I used to get nervous. I used to want to say the right, and I would break into a sweat. I mean, so it's been very good exposure therapy too, of just like showing up.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and that goes a long way in
yeah.
this world, just showing up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Agreed. Agreed.
so thank you.
Well,
This
thank
has been
you.
such
Thank
a
you.
joy.
This was great. It was a great way to start out the day. So thank you.
Good. Yes. And happy birthday. When you posted that yesterday, I was like, I felt really privileged that you were spending time on your birthday with me. So,
Well, it was the one day that I had nothing on my schedule.
right.
So I was like, well, that
Yeah.
sounds appropriate. I think that sounds like a good thing to do. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And your book is right behind you. Do you want to hold it up? Do you want to say how incredible it is? I think it's a
Well,
beautiful
you
book.
can say that. I'll
I,
just say, here it is.
it's hard for me to say that about my own writing, so I understand. I would meet you anywhere. I thought it was of ostensibly it's about the journey for finding your birth mother and connecting, but it's also just about the lifting of shame and also the grief that we carry with us and how heavy it can be, and that processing and releasing that grief it's a journey, and it can take us to places that we never knew. And I was so touched when Susan does end up finding somebody from her father's family. And when you connected with her, I felt this like, I was so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's been a joy. That's been such an unexpected joy that I didn't think was going to ever happen. So
Right. Right.
it really meant a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to be seen and brought into
Mm-hmm.
is such a healing, powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are in a position to bring someone in, do it. It costs you nothing,
Yeah.
and it means the world to them.
I have received this morning just like these beautiful messages from my cousins on that side, and
Oh,
it just so heartwarming and so wonderful. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was like totally the happy end. I mean, it's not necessarily the one you want at the beginning of the book, but it was like something that was, and I think also that speaks to so much of our world. Like the happy ending may not be the one you think you are setting out for, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um so anyway, thank you, Susan,
Thank you
for all your
too.
work and for joining me today.
Thank you, Allison. Thank
Okay.
you. This was wonderful.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.